Many men have found out the hard way that the woman they love, the woman they put in a position of wife in their life, they're not loyal to you in that way, dog. And one example of that is former NBA great Charles Oakley.
Tell us the truth!
Marriage is a fucking diabolical leverage game in the United States. I'm just being honest. Devoid of religious significance or the idea of love, marriage is nothing but an awful contract that you shouldn't sign. Because you start out loving each other, and then like 2 years later, you're just building a case against one another for a hypothetical court date that may or may not ever happen.
I've had the page for at least over a year. It's on my Instagram and my LinkedIn, but that's what happens when you don't pay attention to your wife, period. And, you know, he has a friend that he's been entertaining, and she decided that, you know, she wants to really put a bigger, you know, wedge in our relationship. So she went digging around my page and was like, oh, do you know that she has this? And it blew up from that. And it's no secret, Joe's financial issues, you know, and I have always made a good life for myself, you know. Before I met Joe, I was living overseas in Europe, and I had established myself as a singer, you know, and I came back here, you know, thinking that with his persona and who he was, once we got together and I found out who he was, that it would only take off, you know, other things. But, you know, not everybody's hustle and drive are the same. And depression is a serious thing also. So, you know, I've been just like, you know, supporting and dealing and going through his trials and tribulations with him. I've started several businesses, you know, I've been doing a lot, like, and I just figured out, I have a home in Cape Verde I'm trying not to lose, and a roof over here we're trying to maintain that we almost got kicked out of. So I just kicked in the drive and did what I had to do, you know, and he won't do it. So I had to, and I'm sorry, you knew I was an adult video star when you met me. So if I would do anything for my own survival, then what makes you think that would change now? When I retired from the adult industry, I promised myself, if I don't sing, I don't eat. So when, you know, my music career wasn't popping here when I left Germany and I stayed here for him, I figured, you know, I would, you know, start a business. I started a puppy friend social club business, a dog sitting business. And then COVID happened and that screwed everything up. I have a moving company, you know, that he actually works for me. Like, he works for my moving company. You know, I'm tired of being the one to figure shit out. So I figured it out the best way I know that can maximize the money that needs to come in, because I'm tired of living like, you know, I'm tired of living minimal, you know, it's not fair.
And to be honest with you, that's why I'm in the relationship space. Because for me personally, I don't respect a man until he's married. Like, a man does not earn my respect until he's married and faithful. Damn. Like, he could bench press 500. He can make $1 million a week. He can have a jet. He can have houses around the world. A man does not have my respect. He will have my kindness. He will have, you know, my love as a brother, as a man, but he won't have my respect and admiration until he can be married and faithful.
So is that the highest level of a man?
It's the highest level of a man.
And faithful in particular.
Faithful, because anybody could be married. That's a piece of paper. See, real marriage is a covenant, because when we had marriage with God, we didn't have a courthouse. We didn't have a piece of paper. We have a covenant. So the piece of paper does not mean anything. And I remember my dad telling me that. He was like, listen, if you think that piece of paper gonna change something, it's not. And we have to have a covenant. And this is what you'll notice when you look around. And this is why I was telling y'all, with a lot of podcasts that won't bring me on, they won't bring me on because they know from my message what I stand on. And they don't want their wives or their girlfriends to see that this is a level of living that's capable. And I'm settling when Cherie Gaskins has this mindset, and you around here talking to me like crap, and you around here talking about I got to give you a hall pass and every man cheats and all of this. So they don't want to expose the woman who's in the darkness to men who speak in the light, who's showing the light. And so because of that, you'll notice most black men and men in general choose business and motivation over relationships, because it's easier to talk about making money than it is to talk about being faithful to one woman and loving one woman purely. Because what I have come to realize, the hardest thing for a man to do, and guys always capping in the comments when I say this, but they're not really living it, because I'm living it. The hardest thing for a man to do is be faithful to one woman. And what I mean by being faithful is not just about not having sex, but I also mean by cultivating her heart and mind, by speaking life into her, by understanding that his greatest strength is his gentleness, by not talking down to her, by not dictating and controlling and trying to silence her and make her what men are looking for today are robots.
All right, what's good, YouTube? It's your man, Book of AlphaRonomy, a.k.a. Dr. BOA. Yep, I got time today. Many men have found out the hard way that the woman they love, the woman they put in a position of wife in their life, the woman they've given exposure to the most secretive details in their lives when it comes to their finances, when it comes to their history, when it comes to their, the particular nuances of their friends, enemies, work associates, and all of these things, that when the times get tough, this woman will bail. You understand? She's ready to swim in the crystal clear blue waters of whatever tropical island location you have created her life to be. But at the very moment there's a storm, she flees the scene. She doesn't want to go through the fire. And one example of that is former NBA great Charles Oakley. Now, you may remember that a couple years ago, Charles Oakley had an event at Madison Square Garden where he got into it with security. They banned him from, the garden for an extended period of time. He may still be banned now, I don't know, but he got into it, man, and it was a bad scene, man. And they say he was acting abusive and he was talking crazy, man. But I'm gonna be honest with you, the man is a NYC great. I'm quite sure they did or said something to him that they probably shouldn't have. But he had just gotten married to his wife, Angela Oakley, and she left him after that Madison Square Garden event in 2017. So it was actually about 8 years ago. Now, the reality is she couldn't handle the drama and negative attention after Chuck got, kicked out of the garden, and it was embarrassing to her. Now, here's the reality of it. A woman is talking about the embarrassment and all of that happens from a situation with the man that she professed to love through thick and thin, for richer, for poor, for better or for worse, through sickness and in health. And I want y'all to understand, man, women don't give a damn about them vows, dog. They don't care nothing about them vows. Because the for better or for worse, for richer, for poor, sickness and health, yeah, man, she say that because the fantasy of it is saying the vows. Part of the wedding fantasy is exchanging the vows and then, putting the rings on and doing all of that, and then saying you may now kiss the bride and jump the broom and throw the rice and get in the car with just married on the back and all of that, and the honeymoon. Man, these women, that's what they want, dog. But after that, they're not loyal to you in that way, dog. They're not loyal to you in that way. I just did a video not long ago, man, about a week ago. LL Cool J wife talking about, man, how she gave him hell in the beginning. And then she finally realized when she hit the wall and aged out that, oh, I better calm down. I'm telling you, bro, that's what we're dealing with. When a woman realizes physically that she can't deal with the situation anymore like she did, she calms down. When a woman realizes that financially she can't be raw in the situation like it was before, she calms down. Whenever a woman realizes that her power in a situation is gone, has diminished, then she calms down. But what about the years before? So like this woman right here, man, listen, they had only been married a year before the Madison Square Garden event, and she wants to renew their vows. She wants to renew their vows. She abandoned the man when shit got tough, and now she wants to renew the vows now that things have calmed down. She talking about that she needed to heal him, but she said she couldn't heal him during that time. So the next time he need to be healed, you're not going to be able to heal him either. Y'all finna be newlyweds again. What if something happened right after that? The fact that this woman believes that this man should consider remarrying her dog is crazy. It's crazy. Now they asked Charles about it and he said, man, we'll see. The 10th anniversary of being together will be next year. And she's trying to renew vow. What? You left this man a long time ago. Like, it's been 8 years. You left this man 8 years ago, 1 year after marrying him. So 10 years later, this man's supposed to marry you again? Now, this is what she says. I quote, Charles is holding our vow renewal over my head because he feels like we spent all this money on these houses. He thinks, let's handle this first, then we could jump into something else. He's wise. You know what happened? He snapped out of the Jezebel control of this woman, and now he realizes, hey, we got all this money in these houses. Let's take care of their business first. Then then we could jump into something else. The man realized, let me tell you something. He was duped, just like a lot of men are duped. You can't knock a man for being fooled by a woman, man, because a woman has a very beguiling nature. A woman can get you to believe what you want her, what she wants you to believe once she realizes what you want her to be. That's why I tell you, man, don't run down all your statistical requirements and all your relationship requirements and all that to a woman. You let a woman be herself, and then you decide based on who she truly is, whether she fits into your life. Because if you give her the potential to be what she would need to be with you by giving her all the information, she'll transform into that. A woman is a chameleon, dog. She can become whatever she needs to become in any particular situation. You understand me? And that's just real, man. And I just want y'all to understand, man, that life will teach you valuable lessons that will only cost you the experience. But if you keep bumping your head doing the same thing, life will teach you lessons by punishing you with consequences and repercussions. And when you get those consequences and repercussions, sometimes you can recover from them, sometimes you can't. Well, Charles can recover from this one, but if he marries this woman again, maybe he won't be able to. If a woman fools you once, shame on her. If that same woman fools you twice, shame on you. You've been the fool and you've been used. Now you can choose to refuse to fall back in the same pair of shoes. There's a blessing for you on the other side of every obstacle. There's triumph after every tribulation. But you got to be man enough to know when you made a bad move and put yourself in a toxic situation and make sure you never do it again. So, shout out to Charles Oakley, man. I hope he stands on principles, man, and don't let that broad take him back down through there, man, because honestly, she's not worth it. Just like none of them are. You know, once they prove that they're not loyal and they prove that they're not going to go through anything with you, if a broad can't go through the bad time with you, man, then she don't deserve to go through the good time, especially when the good time outweigh the bad. You understand me? If she can go through 80% of good time with you, she should be able to handle 20% of bad time. And if she can't, man, you flee away from her as fast as you can, dog. Handle your business like Charles Oakley trying to do, and then you let her ass go do her personal with somebody else, dog. All right, I'm done with this one. Like this video on your way out if you enjoyed the content. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. When you subscribe, click that notification bell. Make sure your notifications are on so you can be alerted to when I upload some more of this Prism of the Ism. And as always, Alpha's up, Beta's down. Peace.